just this past week. Of a high-level VP in corporate media for many decades, black guy named Tony, creator of the Black Executive Podcast, where he has CEOs and other people, high-level business people, on his show to talk about their experiences. I'll tell you about his racial awakening real quick. I don't want to steal his fire, but the story he told me that kind of made him start his podcast and made him start talking about race is that he was taught not to talk about it, not to think about it from his mother, you know? And that's how he lived. That's how he worked. And he made it up to VP level despite all, he experienced racism. He saw other people experience it, but he still made it up to VP level. He made it, right? But then he was talking to his daughters who were asking him about race. And he was having a conversation with them about it. And he had this transcendent moment, just like I had, where he was realizing the conversation he was having with his daughters was the same one his mother had with him when he was a kid 40 years earlier. That in 40 years, he was having the exact same conversation with them that he had before. And that really snapped him out of the idea that he shouldn't be talking about it. He's like, if I'm having this same conversation, that is a meaningful thing to him. It was, even though he had seen all kinds of racial barriers and other things in the past, none of that made him change his mindset. But talking to his daughters like that and having that deja vu type of experience decades later, that is what snapped him out of it and made him realize this is important to talk about. We need to be talking about it. Another thing that helped him snap out of it was bringing high-level people of color from media all together and coming to conferences and stuff like that and having these, you know, just only people of color and sharing stories and hearing people share their stories and hearing them and realizing it's just like hearing people talk about his own experience. So even people from all over the nation are having a similar experience, a very similar experience, almost identical to what he's experiencing. That's what helped him realize how widespread it was. So these are things that people are having awakenings to this problem and how pervasive it is and how impactful it is. And people want to deal with it. People want to make it better. And I feel like at a bare minimum, whether we want to be involved in a certain aspect of the solution or not, we need to make sure that we're not encouraging people to not actually try to solve the problem and that we're not trying to stop people who are working on solutions in dimensions of the problem where we don't actually have an interest in or a say in or motivation to do something in, that we don't try to hinder what they are doing because they're working to the same ends to help us move forward. Okay? They're not stuck in the past. We're not stuck in the past. We want to deal with the past so that we can move into the future in a way that is productive. And it's not going to happen until we deal with it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen by us just sitting down and being like, oh, let's just turn a blind eye. We tried that. We already tried it. Okay? It's not working. And so now we're ready to try something else. Let's bring it all into the light. Let's make sure that people have no option but to talk about it. And let's have them work through why we're perpetuating it until we all realize collectively, whatever racial category we're in, that we need to leave it in the past. Because that's not what people have done. We have not left it in the past. It's still with us. People are carrying it with them ignorantly, sometimes willfully so. And that has to stop. And it's only going to stop if we force people to reckon with that reality. And that's not going to happen unless we communicate about it. Thanks for watching. For access to the full-length conversation and all of the 2-hour-long unedited conversations that I've had on race, click the support link in the description below. Thanks for your support and see you next time.